Hello, my fellow coders. Welcome back to Think and Code. And today we are looking at looping through lists and list comprehensions. Starting with looping through lists, this helps us to loop through or perform an action on each element of a list. For example, let's say we have fruits. Fruits equals to apple, banana, and cherry. And then what we can do is for fruit in fruits is to print fruit. And if we print this, we get apple, banana, and cherry, as you can see here. So that is us looping through lists. It's that simple, but there are different ways to loop through list, and this is the first, with for and in as the keyword, and fruits being the name of the list, and fruit being the name of the item or name of each item we are going to give. So the key idea being the loop variable fruit takes on the value of each element in the list one by one. That's why we printed fruit. So next, what we can do is we can use range. We have heard about this in our previous loop videos as well. So let's give it a try. Let's say we have the same list, fruits. So for I in range of len fruits. Now, before we talked about something called the indexes in the list. So this being 0, this being 1, and this being 2. So that is what we are looping through. This time we are looping through index. For a better term, we are looping through each index. That's why we use len fruits. We want this to run till we reach the end of this fruits index. So let's print just the index first. And if we print it, as you can see, 0, 1, 2. So as we can see, we printed the index. Now, if we use the same index, let's take a f string, and then what we can do is index, and then let's add fruits. And what we're going to do is inside fruit, we're going to add the index, and let's print it. So as you can see, the 0 index is apple, the 1 index is banana, and 2 index is cherry. That's how we use index and how we loop through index using our for loop. Now finally we have enumerate. Now this is obviously easy and all. When we can print both fruits and index, there is an even easier way to do this. We call it enumerate. So let's get started. For index, and then we are going to write fruit in enumerate fruits, and we can print the same thing but in a different way. So as you can see, we did the same thing as above, but we did it in a more easier and more subtle way. The easiest way to print both the index and the fruit is enumerate. And as you can see from all of this, it's just that we combined the first and the second and created the enumerate. Next is list comprehension. List comprehensions provide a compact way to create a list. In a normal syntax, we would create a list like this. What we can do is to create squares of this list, the squares of the numbers list. For num in numbers, squares dot append, and then what we can do is print squares. Now if we print this, as you can see, we got the squares of each number. But as I said, programmers are lazy people. So instead of this, what we did is write an expression starting with the expression. What do we want to do? We want to square the numbers for and in numbers. So what we did here is we told them what we need for which variable from which list. Okay, let's do that again. What do we want from which item or variable from which list? Now if we print squares, as you can see, we got the same one, the same list. Let's try this with a condition. Let's say numbers, right? And we just want to do this squares to even numbers. We are going to do even squares equals to, we want to do the squares, yes, for n in numbers, but this time we just want the even squares. So what we are going to do is after the numbers, we are going to write if n module 2 equals to 0. Only apply this when this condition is met. So then we are going to print even squares. And as you can see, let's print the squares as well and compare. Print squares. As you can see, in the above, we printed all the squares. In the below, we only printed the squares of the even numbers because we added a condition. And this is how you add a condition to a list comprehension. Next is multiple loops in list comprehension. What if we want two different lists to simultaneously be executed? Let's see. We are going to take colors equals to red, green, and blue, or just red and green. Next is objects. Let's take objects. And then what we're going to do is ball, car. So let's do a combined list equals to, first let's F string, and then we're going to insert color, and then we're going to do another. We're going to insert object. The same thing we did above for color in colors. And after the colors, we're going to write another for object in objects. Now we have this. Let's print the combined. So if we print this, as you can see, the combined, we started red ball, red car, green ball, green car. So that is how you combine or use multiple loops inside list comprehension. Just so you know, in a more basic manner, this is just us using for color in colors and then for object in objects. And we're going to print basic form. And if we print it, as you can see, we did the same thing as above, but this time we used nested loops. This is the most bare bone version of Python code. And this, we shortened it with this because we are lazy. So that's why we need list comprehension. Now, there are a few tips you need to be worried when you are using list comprehensions. List comprehensions are more concise than just using for loops. As you can see, you can use nested for loops, you can use nested conditions, and so much more. In the comment section and in the description down below, I have given you the notes for this whole thing and some questions that you can practice. Do that and well, we'll be good. So I hope you do that. That is it for today. Happy coding. Keep coding.